What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Happy Sunday. Hopefully you all had a wonderful weekend. It's currently 5:39 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going into the last trading week of March. Thursday will be the last day, the 31st, and then Friday we go into a fresh new month, April. We've seen a pretty wild last few weeks. Momentum was on our side for bulls, with the SPY going on a nice rally from 415 rallies all the way up for 2 weeks straight up here to 452. What a rally. Also, Bitcoin went on a nice rally as well. Let's look at Bitcoin real quick. Bitcoin's currently at 46,500 just about. So the last 5 days from around 42,000 all week, it just trended all the way going into the weekend. And look at this explosion up right here. It's going euphoric as it's running up to 47,000. The last month right here, mid-March, and then for 2 weeks straight from 38,000, just went on a 10k run with Bitcoin. So a real good rally for Bitcoin. The last 2 weeks, I don't know if I really would have bought, but with it up this high and rallying, wait for it to pull back down and trend back down and then reload back up on it. I would like to see it fall back down probably around 40,000. That's where I would want it to fall back down to. See, we recently double topped up here at around 65,000, and then we went into this correction for like, what was it, from November all the way here to January, and then we went sideways and consolidated for a few months, the first 3 months of 2022. Now we're starting to perk up and run, and we could bounce with Bitcoin back up to like 58,000. Long term, you guys know I see Bitcoin going to 100k. I've been slowly starting to invest long term into Bitcoin. This is a long-term project. So my goal on every single dip, I'm loading up for that big run up to 100k. Hopefully it doesn't happen too soon. I would like to be able to just accumulate for the next 2 years, and then we get that run up in it. So that's what's been going on with Bitcoin. We've been seeing the last 2 weeks an epic rally in the indexes. We don't know how much longer this is going to go for, so enjoy it while the times are good. March Madness has lived up to its name, for real. Usually, my career as a trader, March can be a pretty crazy time in the markets, and then I don't know, it depends. We can go into slow trading summer months. We'll still have opportunity out here, but usually in the summertime it slows down because the weather all over in the United States, it gets warm out. People are not inside, they're outside more. They're out traveling around, going on vacation, and now with all of these, we're all slowly getting over this COVID pandemic that we were in. They're starting to open up a lot of places. People are getting out. We're not wearing masks anymore. Things are starting to go back to normal. So, slow summer trading months, it's iffy. Sometimes it can be slow. Sometimes it can be a hot summer. We'll just wait to see when we get there. with us rallying with the SPY the last 2 weeks. Now let's look at the daily chart. Pull over this bad boy. We broke up out of our trend here. Ever since we started 2022, the first 3 months, we were trending down. And just a couple weeks ago when we were doing our Sunday stock talk, we were talking about how it almost looks like it's a bear flag, or a bull flag, I'm sorry. It almost looks like it's a bull flag. Now that it's broken up out of this, we could definitely continue to shoot up and break all-time highs. Anything's possible. We've pulled back last week. We held over the trend line and we continued to push up to new highs. We don't know what to expect this week. I would say keep an open mind, but just keep in mind as well, markets have rallied now for 2 weeks straight. So be on your toes, and when things start to change, adapt, react, and carry along. Don't get stubborn, okay? Don't get stubborn. Because we've been seeing a lot of stocks pop and continue to run and run and run. You don't want to get too comfortable. Because then when things stop, that's when you could slowly start bleeding out your account. So we're going to create our weekly watch list for the upcoming week. Stocks that popped off last week. What was the theme last week? What were we seeing over and over and over again last week? I could tell you we were seeing a lot of stocks from, I would say, $1 up to $5. That was the theme the last few weeks. Small cap penny stocks were hot. From $1 to $5, they were going on epic good runs. Stocks like, we can name off a handful. LLL here on Tuesday went from $2. It ran all the way up to $7. Thursday it had a good pop, and then Friday it had a good pop. CELZ is another one. This one popped off on Wednesday. It went from $1.60 all the way up to a high of almost $4. Fell down to $2.50, and it's been crawling its way right back up to its highs. BKKT is another name that was popping off last week, running up from $6 up to a high of almost $7.50. We had a handful of stocks pop off. And then at the very end of the week, we had pot stocks pop off Thursday and Friday. TLRY ran up from 6 up to 8.50. Friday it crumbled and pulled back here to 7, and then it rallied all the way up to almost $9. It's a nice $2 per share run up at the end of the day. Pot stocks are weird though. They're definitely weird. My whole career I've noticed with pot stocks, they like to pop and then just slowly fade back down to where they came from. It's like you gotta play them when they're hot, take advantage of them, and then be done with them. We're also going to take a look today at Chartmill. I just got full access to Chartmill, and the big important thing I want to do with this stock screener here is I want to screen and scan for stocks that are more big picture ideas, swing trading type of plays. So we're going to experiment around with this, look at some of the sectors, how they performed. Let's see, the top performing sector last week was energy. Energy had a good 8.8% gain last week, followed by materials and utilities. The worst performing sector was consumer discretionary and healthcare. So those two sectors we could see pop off this week with them being the worst performing sectors last week. Let's look at the 2-week. Real estate, utilities. What about 1 month? So energy had the best month. It's still up 23%, followed by materials, utilities, and the worst sector that got beat down was consumer discretionary. There's also something else I want to do real quick too. I gotta go to my email real quick. Alright, so let me find it here real quick, if he even posted it yet. He should have posted it. Let's see. No, I'm not seeing it. I don't think he posted it yet. Going into next week, I got an important lesson that we're gonna be talking about, and that is for members here at Trading Learning 101, how to master yourself and your emotions while in the stock market. How you have to look at yourself like a professional athlete, and you have to come here every single day on top of your game. Every day, because all it takes is for one careless day to wipe away days, weeks, and even months of hard work. So Monday, look forward, you guys, into that. We're going to dive into that lesson. I got a few ideas for this upcoming week. So all right, let's go through and blow through this watch list, see if there's any stocks worth keeping an eye on. Start off with STNE. This stock was pretty hot at the beginning of the week, running up from 12 up to a high of 15. It stalled out at 15, and then Friday it got destroyed. Friday it fell from 14.50 all the way down to 12.50. You may see a little bounce on STNE. Got a nice little squeeze going on there with the daily chart. I'd say it's got room to bounce back up to about $13.50. So that's $1. It could potentially bounce, but I think there's going to be better opportunity out there. CYRN. This one was setting up in a big wedge here at $7.50. It fell through that wedge. I'll bring this down. Right here, I was setting up in a four-day wedge right here. And it fell down out of that wedge. And it came right back up. And it's been finding resistance where it broke out down from that wedge. So CYRN, that's looking bearish. Probably take that one off. NRSN, this one had a lot of potential. It really did. It came out with great news here on Monday, and it stalled out at 8. It pulled back all the way down here to 450s, and then it attempted to squeeze again right here 2 days later. But once again, it stalled out at 8, and now it's all the way down to 4. So this one, it's done. This one's going to have a big free fall. It's going to fall all the way down here to probably 225, 250. NRSN. CENN. This one had a good run up. This one, looking here at the 10-minute, it was at $1.25 and it had a beautiful run here all the way up to $3. That's a good looking chart. These types of charts like this, these are the types of charts I would be saving and learning from, you guys. That's a beautiful setup right here. This is more of like a swing trading type of stock. CENN. IQ had a good week last week. Here it popped up from 3 up to 4. It pulled back 350, and then from 350 it ran up to 450, consolidated, and then it cracked right here, and then it squeezed all the way up to 5. That's a good one too. Shorts piled in on this and it squeezed out. They thought that it was breaking trend and over with. Right there. See, as it consolidated all day here. And then it closed and it started to crumble and fall apart. Well, shorts start jumping in on it because they think it's the backside of the move because it just ran from 3 all the way up to a high of 450. They're like, that's a crazy wicked run, and it's a penny garbage stock. They start piling in, and then bulls step in, and shorts have to cover, and that's when you get this big squeeze up right here. Then after that squeeze, then the stock starts to crumble and fall apart. I love short squeezes. I really do. For any type of, there still could be some upside potential with IQ. I mean, the float is pretty massive on it. I'd say we keep our eyes on it just to see how it plays out. It has to run back up and reclaim 5 for any type of move higher. If it reclaims 5, it's got room to run up to 650, and then it could run up to that 200-day moving average at $8. So I'll throw it on, see how this one plays out. IQ. Next up, BEKE. This is a higher float stock. 887 million float. It's trying, but I think there's just too much overhead. Look at here on the 10-minute, almost like it's see, it perked up right here and now it's wedging out. We could continue to wedge out here. We just don't know which way it wants to go because it's resting right now. It could continue to push up or it could fall right back down. We don't know. So this is where it pays to just keep eyes on it, see how it plays out. And if we break up out of this wedge that it's forming here, or this triangle, we could definitely see it from 1450. If it breaks up over this level here, it's got all this room to the upside. It could run all the way up here to 18, our psychological $20. So that's a lot of upside potential. But if it cracks this $12 level, this thing's gonna fall all the way back down here to about $9.50, $10. I think it's worth keeping eyes on, see how it plays out. BEKE. IRNT, that one's daily chart looks decent. I'll write it off for right now. We also seen NFT stocks pop off last week. WKHS, DLPN, and TKAT. Yep, right here. TKAT, it ran from 250, it exploded all the way up to 350, and then it gave back everything. But we were putting together an idea for this. If I pull back over the daily chart, see, for the longest time, this was in a downtrend right here. And it's just now starting to break up out of that downtrend from 72 bucks. This thing back last April trended all the way down to $2. And it's just now starting to break up out of that. This is more of like a big picture swing trade idea. So if we start holding up above that trend line and building up off of that, just take it a level at a time. $4, $6, $8. It could continue to trend up. We'll just have to monitor them, see how they set up. We all know that the NFT world and Bitcoin related things, they're hot. Let's get back to that watch list. IXHL. I had this one on watch all last week for any type of opportunity on it, because this one, it's a newer IPO and it's super volatile. I was watching for it to reclaim and hold $12. Well, back on, what was it, Tuesday right here, it was gapping up and it got a huge explosion pre-market, but that was a trap to get people into it, and it crushed them. Back down to 12, fell through 12, then it reclaimed it here, and it could just never build up off of that 12. You could see it tried right here. It tried building up off that 12, but just no momentum. And it just stalled out and back down it goes. There's no interest for the stock. So I'm going to take this one off. Now, BKKT, this one still has potential. I like how that daily chart is setting up. I'll throw this one on the watch list. It really needs to break up over $8 to get running. BKKT. Give it time. All it needs is one good press release. And we also have had a lot of imbalanced buy orders on BKKT. So it could be insiders loading up for something down the road. Keep eyes on it, because there's something definitely going on. YOU, TDD. This one had a good run last week. Here at the beginning of the week, it ran from 38.50 all the way up to a high of 55. That was a good run. They will scroll in here on these 3 days. Blow that chart up. That's a beautiful looking chart. How it just trended down like this. And then it went sideways. Like that. And from there, at around that $39 level. Right there. It just started to build up. Next day, it's gapping up, primed and ready at 42 bucks. And from 42, this thing just ramped. And then you got consolidation there at 47. Runs up to that psychological 50 bucks right there. Pulls back down, holds that 46.50s. Then it gets over 50 and ran all the way up to 55 bucks. That's a good run. A really good run. It's like a $17, $18 run up in 2 days. I'm going to take a snapshot of this chart. In case you guys are wondering, the tool that I'm using to draw up these lines, it's called Epic Pen. And if you go down in the video description, I have a link to Epic Pen. And if you guys use my code I have in there for you, you'll be able to save 20% on it. It's a very handy tool to have. I'll go ahead and save that chart. And then charts of the day. We can upload it here. Loved how that thing bottomed out. Just had an epic run up. But PDD, it's in the dirt. It's done. There ain't no coming back with that one. HRT, we were watching this one all week. So Monday, it was down here at 1250. It ran all the way up to 1650. And then it just kept like, almost like it was building up in stages. Like, look at that. Every level was building up from 50-cent levels at a time. So from 15, then it held 1550. Then it was testing 16. It got up above 16 and then 1650. You guys see how it was doing that all week? And then Friday, it was holding 1650 and running up to a high of 1750. Beautiful run up on this. It's still technically holding trend, so this thing could continue to squeeze up. I'm not going to add it to the watch list though. Volume's too late on it. ALLG, this one ran up here from 9 all the way up to 24 bucks. We had a really good run on it here. on Friday. That's the bounce that we were looking for. Let's blow this up real quick. So this is how I would draw up these charts. To give you guys an example. First big green day is right here. Second day, rest day. The more we pull back, the better. Think of it as a slingshot. First big green day, second day is considered a rest day. The more we pull back, the better. And then third day, on watch for bounce. This setup offers amazing opportunities, and we see it a lot. Is what happens. People are all interested in it day one with all that volume. And then after it, because people are designed to chase after stocks that are only making new highs. They're taught like that. Once a stock tops out, and it's not making any more new highs, people lose interest in it because other stocks start popping off. And then as this starts to pull down, people forget about it and look at the volume decrease on it the next day dramatically. And then going into day 3, people have forgotten about it. But remember, here at Trading Learning 101, I teach you guys, you want to be the 10% that think differently than everybody else. So us as the 10%, we're watching this stock, stalking it like a predator. And then that is where you make your money, because when it starts popping off and getting that momentum, it goes off on everybody's high of day scanner, and they chase after the stock, and they're pushing you up in profit because you studied this setup and put it together, and you trust in the setup. And look at the opportunity it gave. Day 3, it ran from $14 up to a high of $20 right there. That's a $7 per share run up on a stock like this. So let's say 1,000 shares at $14. That's a $14,000 investment. From bottom to top, it ran up $7. You would have made $7,000. You would have made 50% on your investment, $14,000. That's phenomenal. The S&P 500, that's where day trading is so lucrative to everybody. You're trying to outperform the S&P 500 on a yearly average. In one day, this stock just gave you a return of potentially 50%. But us as day traders, we got to train ourselves. We're not here like greedy pigs trying to capitalize on the whole move. All we are focused on is just getting a slice of the pie. So out of this whole $7 move, we may be only interested or happy with getting $2 out of that whole move. And then every day you repeat the process. That's how we do it. That's a beautiful run up here. Take another snapshot of this and save it. Slingshot. People have all kinds of different names for this setup here. I'm not the first one to put this together. Some people call it like the mid candle breakout. Some people call it the rubber band play. Some people call it the bounce play, the first bounce. Everybody all has their own twist to it. I'm gonna upload these to the Discord real quick. The great thing about being a part of a community in a Discord, you guys, I post all of this stuff in here, and you can go back into the history and pull all this stuff up. ALLG. Yeah, we see this play happen a lot. PIK. See, this one even had a good bounce on it. It just took longer. See, if you blow this one up, this was his first big green day right here. Its first big green day here. And then day 2, it pulled back. Day 3. Day 4, it starts to set up but failed. Day 5. Then day 6 is when this finally got a bounce. So 6 days later, after its first big green day. That just goes to show you there too that sometimes stocks don't bounce on day 3. I've seen stocks take 2 weeks, 3 weeks to make their bounce. Sometimes they don't bounce at all. It's the timing part that's always the hardest. But PIK, all this was a short squeeze from shorts covering. From 4, it ripped up to 6.25. That's a $2.25 rip right there. And it pulled back down to that psychological $5. And from 5, it consolidated. And then from 5 rips up to a high of $6. It's a nice $1 rip there. See this stuff happen all the time, guys. all the time. I'm actually gonna write on this real quick. Day 1. Day 2. Day 5. Day 6. Six days later. Short cover squeeze. That's PIK. I'm just going through here and posting them all here in the Discord. I got them in the charts of the day. And then I've also posted them in the Traders Lounge. So you guys can save them, learn from them, do what you gotta do. We had a lot of good runs last week. So I can go through here now and delete this list because I've been adding them in the Discord. So far, right here, we got IQ, BEKE, BKKT, ALLG. All right, here we go. So the upcoming week will be a short week, as in bear shorting. I will be traveling on Thursday and Friday and back on Sunday. Don't let the obvious blind you. Don't get lost in the noise. Don't go back to the well just because it paid. Volume trumps all. Catalyst gives bid. Once everyone forgets, levels are everything. All right, let's look at a few here. CLVR. This one on Friday had a good run up. Beautiful run up. I mean, it's got high to run up to about 550. I'd say Monday, CLVR gaps up, but then it's going to fade out all day. We can keep it on watch, though. That's a beautiful run up. TLRY, major opportunity. on Friday. Great prep work, and the room key is really come prepared and take the trade you're prepared for and move on as midday really gets in a very controlled grind. Like AMC, levels worked to a T. The AMC here ran from 1550 all the way up to 22. Holds back down to 19 and then bounced up to 22 again. AMC still, it's been green for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days straight. IMTE has been ramping up. There's just super light volume on it. Rblx Roblox. This thing failed. It failed right here at 52. AFRM, same thing as Roblox, failed just above that $50. That's going to be a tough level to get through. TIGR had a good run up, ran up half the week from 420s all the way up to 7. Now it's pulling back 550. You're going to want to see that 550. I'm going to say $5. TIGR hold up. If 5 holds, you could see a bounce back up. I like IQ. I left that on. DIDI. Ran from 250 up to 420s, then stalled out here at 450. And then it's just been crumbling back down. This thing's done. REVB. This one was a real good one. We could see some follow through with this REVB. We'll throw that up on the watch list. NILE. Yeah, this one looks like it's gearing up, but it's got to get up over that $1. This is why I try to teach you guys to pay attention to psychological levels. Look at how much that $1 has been resistance for NILE. I'm actually going to record this. This is why it's super important to base your thinking and trading around psychological price levels. This red line that I have drawn out here is at exactly $1. Now, the psychology behind stocks that are under $1 a share, they're officially a penny stock. They're in the penny stock club. When a stock comes up from that under $1 level, and if it crosses up over that $1, it's officially entering from a penny stock into the $1 club. It's an official $1 stock. And then up above $1, your next big psychological level to get through is going to be $10. And the psychology of these levels keep going up and up and up. So let's write these down real quick. So your first big level is always going to be your $1 club. And then from $1 to $2, $3, $4, $5 is a big psychological level. But above that, your next big level for stocks is going to be $10. Because then your stock is officially going from a single-digit dollar club to a two-digit dollar club. Then up above that, it just continues on from $10 up to $100. And then it just continues on. $500, then $1,000, like Tesla. And we got a perfect example with Tesla from last week. We can pull up Tesla. Tesla went on an epic run here from $866. You see it ran all the way up to that green line that I have plotted out on my chart. That's right at $1,000. And you see how it found resistance right at that $1,000 right there. Then the next day it came up and it was battling that $1,000 right there. And it finally exploded up over that $1,000 and ran up to $1,040. And then zooming out on your charts, guys, focusing on the levels. That's where you really need to be paying attention. Stop trying to beat yourself up over exact pennies. Focus on levels, areas of interest. Because with your eye, you can visually see that this stock was trying or is holding up at that $1,000. So psychological levels, guys, is super important. Focus on the levels. You could see a few times Tesla dip down to $990. That's a $10 range from $1,000. If you just focused on the levels and stop trying to pinpoint it to the exact price, you're going to stress yourself out. You're going to overlook the opportunity, and you're ultimately, like I like to say, you're going to get punked out. The stock's going to defeat you, and you're going to take an L. And from there, that's where your emotional intelligence or how you've conditioned yourself comes into play. Some people, if they let a stock punk them out, they crumble and fall apart. They get revenge trading, they doubt themselves, and then they start digging their account lower and lower and lower because they got defeated and they're letting their ego get in the way and they're not wanting to admit defeat and move along from it. That was a good quick little lesson right there. Same thing all applies to it, you guys. It's all the same. Doesn't matter if the stock is $1 or if it's $1,000. NILE, though, it may come run back up, break up over that $1. It's been pulling back nicely to that 75-cent level, trying to build up, break up over that $1. So be on watch. If you like penny stocks, be on watch for NILE to break up through that $1. I could see it running up to about $1.50. That's where I could see it running up to. Of course, you're going to see 125 act as natural resistance, but I think they get it up to about $1.50. Especially for a low price stock like this, you guys. You buy 10,000 shares, stock runs up to $1.50. That's like $5,000 in your pocket. RADA. Nice rip right here. 14 rips up to 1650. Man, that's a beautiful. Look at this daily chart. Rada. Nice consolidation. Right here at that just under 14 bucks, I'll say. I'll put it right there. 14 from that 1250s level, it consolidated and then it perked up right there. Perked up out of that range and off she went. That's a textbook breakout. Rada. Textbook. I'll save this one too. Daily chart. Textbook breakout. That's what I'm doing all the time, you guys. I'm drawing up these charts, breaking them down, saving them to my desktop to learn from them and better prepare myself for the future. Once again, go to charts of the day, and then for all the members here, I'll share it with them. Rada daily chart. Textbook. Yeah, we could definitely see a nice continuation there on Rada. Let's look at CRXT. This one got a good pop and run. You got a nice little squeeze going on there on the daily chart. The only thing that concerns me, it's been green too many days. Look at the daily chart. The stock's been green for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 straight days. But we got a nice little squeeze going on right there with the moving averages. We could see this up over 2. I mean, it's got room to run 250. It could run up to 3. There's room for this stock to run. It could run all the way up here, about $5. CRXT. I'm going to add this to the list. You guys have any stocks you got on watch going into next week? Leave a comment. I'll pull it up. CELZ. This one had a good run. I mean, it's got room to push, what, $5. The low float up over 5, it can run up to 7, and then over 7, who knows how far it can go. CELZ. I'll add that one to the list too. Ooh, ARTW. See, the thing with this one, it's a light volume stock, but technically, it's still holding trend. Even though it was up here at 775 and it crumbled all the way down to 6, big picture, draw your trend light out, the stock's battling to hold trend. So if it can hold trend, shorts can get squeezed. I'm not going to add it to the list though. SYTA, I'll look at this one real quick and then I'll look at yours, Michael. All right, looking at SYTA real quickly. This one had a big gap down. Right here, it gapped down from 320 down to $1.80, and then it got drilled all the way down. See these psychological levels. $1 psychological level. Popped right up off of it up to $1.50. So right now it's at the top of its range. I'd be watching for it to pull back. Probably I would look for it to hold up $1.25. Hold that, gear up, rest, break up through that $1.50, and then get that run up to $2. And then if it breaks up over 2, this stock's got all this room right here with the gap to fill. So it could run up to 350. And that's where you gotta ask yourself, do you see the opportunity in this stock? Do you feel it's valuable to keep on your watch list? Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Because the downside risk isn't that great. The upside potential outweighs the risk. There's an upside potential on this of $1, $1.50, and you're looking to only risk maybe 25 cents. So that's a good risk versus reward ratio. And that's the way you have to think when breaking down charts. And always keep that big picture in your mind. That's the way I like to try to teach you guys here. Don't make trading hard or investing hard. It doesn't have to be hard. People like to overcomplicate it. So SYTA, I feel that's worth keeping an eye on. Now, Michael says GLNG. If this is a sub-zero penny stop, Michael, tisk, man. All right, we're at $25. Let's see what this is. Glora LNG Limited. What is this? It's a natural gas. So you're going off of the energy, natural gas, that was recently hot. This GLNG has been running, man. Running all the way up to 25. The last time it was up at these levels was back in 2018. So you're looking at a multi-year breakout here. That's good. That's good. It's getting a nice explosion here on the weekly chart. See how this set up a big ascending wedge right here? You broke up out of that wedge and you're ripping up right here. So from 14, this stock went on a nice $10, $11 run up and non-stop. This is a weekly chart, man. So every one candle on this chart is 1 week of trading. So for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight weeks, this stock has been running. I would start to look at locking in profits, man. Locking in profits if you're already in on this. If you're looking to just get in on this, it's horrible timing, dude. You got to look at it like it already made its move. So what you should be doing is going back and putting it all together on how did it go from here up to here. And you see how I drew out the big ascending wedge and it broke out from it. So a good entry on it would have been like right there, you know? There's multiple different ways you could have attacked this. But always remind yourself, man. Always remind yourself, and I always remind myself, 90% of people lose money consistently in the stock market. I have to think differently than them. So if you're looking to buy, it already made its move, you know? There's going to be some profit taken coming in. And $25, that's a huge psychological level. Maybe it runs up to a high of maybe $30, maybe. Maybe 27. Because look at right here. This was an area of importance right there. That's where you're going to probably run into resistance. You're right there. And this has got room to pull back down. I'd look for it to probably pull back down about $18. See how it plays around at 18. And this is looking at a monthly chart, dude. This is more of a big picture investment idea. This isn't a day trading type of stock. Volume's just not really there for it. The volatility. I think that's the euphoric explosion right there. Still a good stock, man. Good call out. That's an epic run. Getting a bit too far gone, though. Remember what we were just talking about, too, at the beginning of this video? Markets rallied up non-stop for 2 straight weeks. It's not gonna last forever. So it's best to... You gotta take advantage of it, notice it. Don't get overly greedy. Lock it in, secure the bag, right? Next one, or actually, real quick, INDO. Yeah, see, this one's getting drilled down. Yeah, these energy stocks, they're going to naturally decay all the way back down to where they came from. You got to play them when they're hot. They're naturally decaying. That's the way they like to move. You may get one good pop here on INDO back up to like 25. See, NXT here. This one was a good run. Look for a pullback back down to like 450. Right there. It's up at resistance here at $7. $120 million float. I could see this push into about $7. That's a good run, NEXT. Yeah, no problem, Michael. Start locking in those profits, man. It's like when times are good, dude, remember it never hurts to lock in something. Who cares if the stock keeps going up higher and higher and higher? You ultimately want to just focus on your idea, your growth, man, growth. Don't let greed blind you. Southwest Energy. See, here's another good run up on another energy related stock. And we were just looking at chart mill here. The top performing sector last week was what? Energy. It had the best week, up 8.8%. So energy was the top sector last week. I'm actually going to add in a little side note here. Markets have rallied last 2 straight weeks. How long will it last? Top performing sector last week was energy. Up 8.8%. The worst performing sector was consumer discretionary. Man, come on. I wanted to highlight it. Are you trying to spell that out? Oh my goodness. CRET. IONARY. Down, what was it? Was it 2.5%? Yep. Top stocks on my weekly. Markets have rallied last 2 straight weeks. How long will it last? Top performing sector last week was energy, up 8.8%. The worst performing sector was consumer discretionary, down 2.5%. Top stocks on my weekly watch list, no order. And I'll post that as of right now. We also have TELL. Go on a nice rip. This one's squeezing up on the daily chart. TELL. All right, let me add all these names in real quick. So I gotta. Yeah, that Dave stock really crumbled after that run up to 12. RDBX, that's done for. NIO, that had a good run last week. It's done for. LGVN, I'll keep this on watch. That's a good one. That's still setting up. KODK, this one ran in the past. Yeah, this is a new name, IPO, this stock really crumbled here at 6. It crumbled all the way down to 325. DWAC hasn't been doing much of anything after it opened up its social media platform. I'll keep this AKAN on my list because it's still lingering around. any momentum comes into this back up over 10 bucks, this thing could rocket. EIK, I doubt you continue to squeeze up. All right, let me add these names into the weekly watch list. We got IQ, BEKE, BKKT, ALLG, CLVR, TIGR, Rblx, REVB, RADA, RADA, CRXT, CELZ, SYTA, NEXT, SWN, TELL, and then AMC Gamestop. And then you guys, I also posted, what, 4 charts in here for us? For you guys to learn from. So if you guys aren't already a part of this Discord, there should be a link in the video description. And just to help you guys out, I'll go ahead and paste it there in the chat for you. There you go. I've been watching LGVN ever since I seen it started moving again. Been thinking about just parking on it with 100 shares. Yeah, LGVN. It's primed and ready, man. All they need is a good press release and a good gap up. There's potential in it. It's definitely bottomed out. You could see it clear as day. You just don't know how long you're going to be tying up that money for. So you could see there's a top here at $8. It's also got like a huge wedge on it. It's been trending up. A clear bottom here at $6. There's going to be resistance in this area here, $7.50, $8. But if it can gap up over 8 with a good press release or something, it's got room to run. $10 right there. And then if it gets over 10, it's got room to run all the way up to here, about $13. I mean, it's primed and ready, dude. You just need that press release. The low float stock. It ran in the past. Looking at the daily chart, this thing in the past, it ran from 370. In like 5 days, it ran up to $45. So I've taught you guys, if you look up at the daily chart and you see big green juicy candles, that's telling you the stock ran in the past. And chances are stock will run again. It's got memory. Little characteristics and details is what you want to be looking out for. I'm just running through the screener here real quickly. I did want to try out this chart mill with you guys. Stock charts. I mean, I like this website. I wanted to experiment with it a lot more. Take a look at Gamestop. See, this one went on a real good rally. Sorry if I'm blinding you guys. But yeah, from 80 bucks, had an $80 run up to 160. It's just under that 200-day moving average. Tesla went on a good run too. Let's see if I can. See, I want my stocks to be above $5. Average volume. I don't like how that 50 SMA. I don't like that. Under 100 million. Is there anything else I can add? Squeeze play. Chart mill squeeze play daily. Long. I'll click that one. Oh, you can do bullish or bearish patterns. That's cool. Chart patterns. CVGI. Let's look at that one. Flow is 31 million. Looking up at the daily chart, we got to start there. Commercial vehicle. See, the daily chart, we can get up going. Up over 10. Currently, it's fighting to get out of its downtrend right here. It's just starting to push up over. Yep. $9.50, $10. 66% of it is held by institutions. I'm gonna have to play around with this chart mill this week, see if I can come up with some good scans. Insider trading. The latest transactions. See, look at the ticker M. Jeffrey Jeanette did an open market sale. He dumped 89,000 shares at $26.34 for $2.3 million. So let's look. That's Macy's. Yeah, he had a good run up on that. So he dumped at $26.34. Let's put a line there. Right there is about where he dumped. Largest transactions. Let's look at that one. What is that? IVZ. Look at that's a huge order. The float is 374 million. And that person, they did an open market purchase. They bought 2.4 million shares at a value of $52 million at $21.73. About right there. Wow. That was on what date? The 22nd. So this day right here. And since that day, stock came down 21.25, pushed up to 22.25. Huh. A lot of shit. That's a lot of money, man. They got an earnings calendar. Aftermarket movers. Pre-market movers. Most active. Unusual volume. Yeah, the SNDL went on a tear. MULN. Top gainers, top losers. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna have to dig into this website. Best dividend stocks. Yeah, I'm gonna have to dive into that. We also have our pre-built screeners that we look at here. Let's run through those real quick. See if there's anything that pops up. Nope, I'm not getting anything because it's the weekend. It's a penny pincher scan. I don't like that one. Got FRGE. That was one that ran too. Yeah, this one perked right back up to 20. I'll add this to my weekly watch, or actually I'll add it to my Monday. See how that one plays out. I'm not going to add the pot stocks. I've never liked pot stocks. Oh yeah, BTU. That one went on a tear too. BTU all week from 2150 it ran up here to 2525. Pulled back to 2350. Ran up to 2650. This one was a good one. Nice run up here. Then it topped out right up here, about 2550. Pulled back. 2350 held as support. Made its way back up. Claimed 2550. Wedged out. Pushed up to 2650. Up there, pulled back. Was playing around at that 25 bucks. Right there. Reclaimed 2550 right there. And ripped to 2750. Nice $2 rip. It squeezed. That's a good run. I think FRGE, that's a new name IPO too. Look at the daily chart. Its first day IPO is right here. And then it pulled back for 2 days, about to the midsection of that first green day. 1250. And then from 1250 ripped to 2450. A good $10. What is that? Like a $12 run up. Wanted to pull this up though to go through. Add some of these, take some off and add some new ones. See, I'll put IQ right there. The LVR, NEXT. RADA. CELZ. I'll add that one in there too. All right, we've been streaming for almost 2 hours. I'm gonna publish this watch list to the Discord, and it's gonna be in the right here, Stock Talk, Trading Ideas. I publish it right there. So watch list is published in here. And then I'll see you guys Monday. Money Monday, we call it, right there. Enjoy the rest of your evening, you guys. Get a good night's rest. And I'll see you guys in chat Monday.